'Tis I. Hey everyone, glad to see you back, glad to see you looking fresh, and happy opening week to all you baseball fans. Today, on our humongous journey, we are taking a look at our very first sports game. It is backyard baseball. Without further ado, roll the intro. So, Backyard Baseball is the very first backyard sports title that Humongous Entertainment ever did. I'm talking about the original Backyard Baseball. There have been many versions on multiple different platforms. This is the first game series that Humongous ever did to show up on consoles, to show up multiple versions. Like, there was the original, and then there was a new one a couple years later, and then they updated them quite frequently down the line to the point of devastating results, but that's a discussion for another time. Today we are talking about the original Backyard Baseball, a childhood favorite of mine and many others, one that is very simple at its face, but honestly pretty deep, and it's held up amazingly well, especially for sports games standards, where if you go back and play a sports game of the time, if you're not nostalgic for it, there's not really much there for you, because the rosters change, teams change. But this one, the Backyard Sports kids, some of them are quite iconic. Some of them are very big in the video game sphere. Some of them have created fan bases of their own, and they exist in this universe, and they can play different sports, which we'll get to later on. But baseball. We'll start with the simplest, which is just the pickup game. You show up to any one of these fields, and you play a game. Like, you get to pick, and luckily I got to pick first, so I got to pick the GOAT, Pablo Sanchez. You cannot discuss backyard baseball without talking the name Pablo Sanchez. Now, let me tell you why he's the GOAT. Hitting, running, fielding, not the greatest pitcher, but he doesn't need to be the greatest pitcher. Listen, he's called the secret weapon for a reason. The man can't speak English, but he can speak the language of baseball, and he proves it in the very first time he walked up to bat. I kid you not, when I was playing to record this, he walked up to the plate, smacked the homer, and of course, it plays the best home run in the game. They knew they had an all-star in their hands. Pablo Sanchez is the guy. He's the GOAT. He's the greatest to ever do it. Pablo, you're my man. Now, the rest of my team, while I do have some of my other favorites on this team, the fun thing about a pickup game is that you aren't given the entire roster, right? It's like a pickup game of any sport, right? Who showed up to the park today? Those are the kids that get to be picked. You're not going to have everyone's favorite every single time. While it is a ton of fun just to be playing some baseball and some pickup games, there is, of course, a league play where you can sign up and you get your pick of the entire roster, and then you can go through an entire season, right? If you love backyard baseball, and I hope you do if you're watching this is the game mode for you. You get to slot down your roster, every single one. There's no one picking against you. There's no one grabbing people. Like when you play quick game, it's a back and forth. I want him, I want her. None of that. You pick your 9, you play through an entire season, and if you're good enough, you will win the BBL championship. Relax. It's not that funny. So of course, I had to jump in and play a little bit of some league play, right? It's my favorite. I remember as a kid, the very first time I made it beyond the main season and into the playoffs, I felt like I really accomplished something. And I kept going. And man, what an amazing feeling it was to get to the end of this game. So much fun. Such a fun experience. Such a great gaming memory. I will let you know, this is not the team I won with back in the day. But this is the team I would pick now if I were to play this game again, even though I played it on and off over the years since I got it. And I'm very happy that everyone can play it again. It's on Steam. It wasn't for a long time. I remember when getting all the Humongous games, the backyard sports were specifically not included, which was a big pain. But now they're on there, which is great. It's just simply great. So, my team, if I was to play League Play right now, and this is just in batting order, I'll let you know my favorites, basically. Tony Del Vecchio, I love him in the outfield. The kid's got heck of an arm, right? He's not the fastest, he's not the best hitter, he can get it done from time to time, but he has a cannon of an arm. He can throw it all the way from outfield to home plate, no problem at all. Keisha Phillips is just an all-around good player. She's a really good hitter. She's surprisingly fast. She's also pretty tall, so having her on the infield is quite useful. Stephanie Morgan is another pretty solid all-arounder. She doesn't really excel anywhere, but she has a love of the game, and she's just pretty good no matter where you put her. So while she's probably my 9th pick, someone's got to be last on the team, but all in all, she's really solid. Pablo Sanchez, the GOAT, of course. He's a must-have if you're having a good team. I mean, come on now. Pete Wheeler's probably my 2nd favorite. He's ridiculously fast. I believe he is the fastest in the game. He is my favorite to just hit a bunt and just sprint to first base before the other team even knew I hit him. Mikey Thomas, or Nuggets, is my 3rd favorite. Now, that might surprise people. It's the exact opposite of Pete. He is probably the slowest in the game, but hitting a home run, or sometimes even, of course, a grand slam with Nugget, is one of the best feelings ever. He is perfect right after Pete because he's so slow. His amount of RBIs he gets is off the chart. Amir Khan, the younger brother to someone we'll talk about in a second. So, fun thing about Amir and Ahmed, spoilers, is that you pair them together, Amir gets better. And that same thing happens with the Weber twins. If you have Sydney and Ashley Weber, they team up quite well as well. They're who I used to have on the team. I used to run Sydney and Ashley Weber. I played the very first time I played through this. I swapped out. I didn't have Keisha, I didn't have Amir, and I didn't have Stephanie. And instead, I ran Sydney and Ashley Weber, and I ran Dante Robinson. So if I could have 12 characters on my team, those would probably get joined in just for nostalgic reasons. But then, of course, the bigger brother, Ahmed Khan, who can crack a ball like none other. He is great at it, and he has a pretty fun theme song as well. And then rounding off the batting order, we have Kenny Kawaguchi, my designated pitcher. He is my favorite pitcher. There's only 2 really strong pitchers in the game. I think Kenny, and then Angelo Del Vecchio is also quite good. But Kenny's been my mainstay. I love him. Smart kid. Can really pitch, barely ever gets tired, and he's just a lot of fun to use. So that's my roster, and I mean, it's a sports game, so like, there's not really much else to talk about, unfortunately. This is definitely the type of game that's more designed for like a streaming, so maybe one day if I ever get into streaming, I would play through an entire season of this game. I would love doing that. But there are a couple other modes. Of course, like I said, there is pickup play and there's league play. There's also a batting range, so you can practice your bats against some pitches if you want, which I never really used as a kid. There's also different game modes in regular game modes, if that makes sense. So you can, of course, change the difficulty. You can change the number of innings from 6 to 9. You can turn on and off, like, pitch locator, which I don't really recommend because even though this game is pretty well ahead of its time for a late 90s PC game, it's still pretty dang tough to see where the pitch is going to land in the batter's box. A little bit of an indicator, but then, of course, you can have a locked-on indicator if you want, if you're really having a tough time, which, of course, I used as a kid. I'm happy to say I don't really use anymore, but as a kid, I absolutely used it. And also, not in league play, but in quick play, there is T-ball. So if you can't figure out the pitching at all, you can play this. And I remember playing it as a kid and getting like over 100 runs in, like no problem. Because you just pick every character that's really good at hitting and you just crack balls into the outfield all day. Like, that's it. And a couple of other Easter eggs that you discover playing this game for almost 2 decades at this point. One, remember how I said earlier that Pablo Sanchez can only speak Spanish and baseball, of course? Actually, he's lying. If you shift click on his profile, he will speak in English to you. It's only one line.
Okay, don't tell the other kids, but I speak English. I learned Spanish in school.
And secondly, Mr. Clanky, who is used in the batting practice, can be used in quick play if you click on himself in the treehouse. You shift click that and you can use it. He's pretty good in quick play. You can't use him in league play because he's kind of broken, but for a fun little addition, fun little Easter egg character, there you go. That's it. That's it for Backyard Baseball. One of my favorite games as a kid. The singular most influential game Humongous Entertainment ever made, for better or for worse. There are a good number of these Humongous Sports games that we will be tackling along this journey. This is the first, so might as well be first. And what better time of the year to be talking about it? So, have you played Backyard Baseball? Have you played any of its follow-ups? Maybe you played it on PS2. Maybe you just played the updated version of this one where they started including real-life sports figures. Maybe you've only played this one like I have. That's not true. I have played the PS2 version and the Game Boy Advance version, I believe. Which was the very first time that I noticed that it wasn't just the Backyard Sports Kids. But I was so weird playing these games with anyone but the Backyard Sports Kids because of my love for the base game. That'll about do it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching. And as always, like this if you like this, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you at some point.